We wanted to start with some signs we saw on the way to the gig.
We had the funniest.
We had fun in the car.
We had fun in the car. This isn't even a new sign. This is the restaurant that's near us. That's called it. The name of the restaurant. It's like a diner type thing.
Yeah.
It's called Sunset to Sundown. They were open breakfast and lunch.
Not open till sundown.
Not open till sundown.
And then there was Bardo Coffee House.
Yeah.
That said on their sign, like their marquee sign where you change the letters out.
Right.
Said, "I changed the sign." was the what the sign said.
It just said, "I changed the sign!" exclamation point. Which they've also said, sometimes you drive by there and the sign says, "My boss told me I had to change the sign." Or I think one time it was, "I'm not changing the sign."
There's something going on in there.
I know, it's really funny.
Either really good or really bad. And then my favorite was, we drove by a church near us.
I think it's a Methodist church.
Okay.
It's huge. Huge.
And they were advertising a class that they are putting on that teaches you how to be more like Ted Lasso.
To be fair, we don't know that's what it teaches you.
Oh,
the
really?
sign just said Ted Lasso class.
Oh.
6 to 7:30 Tuesdays.
What else could it be than learn how to be more like Ted Lasso?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it teaches you how to watch Ted Lasso. I don't.
Maybe it teaches you lessons to learn from Ted Lasso. Anyway, I am in favor of the concept.
I think it would be great if more people were like Ted Lasso.
Absolutely.
It is a charming character.
We could use more Ted Lassos in this world. That's
We
for sure.
absolutely could. Recommendations. I'm going to make them a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Ted Lasso. It's worth the watch.
Makes you feel good.
It does make you feel really good. And they are coming to a close. I think it's going to end soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyway,
There was one more thing we wanted to make fun of. Sorry.
No. I love making fun of
So
stuff.
this wasn't on the car ride, but this was when we were walking back from Shake Shack.
Yeah.
So we were at our studio at Rhino. It was after rehearsal on Saturday.
Right.
And we walked over to Shake Shack to get a burger. And then on our way back, we saw one of those pedal barks. Maybe they're called barks because they're bike bars.
Barks is a good name for them. How did nobody think of that? So you probably don't know what they are. In downtown Denver and probably lots of other downtowns, they have these things where it's basically like a 12-person bar.
Bike table?
Bike table. It's like a table, but you sit on chairs and you pedal, but you're like sitting sideways. So you're moving this way and you're sitting sideways with your friends, and it's like 12 people or whatever. And you bike the pedals, and that's what makes the whole thing go. And then there's a driver who drives it around the downtown.
And you drink.
And you drink, and there's like a keg, and so they can like pour beer. I don't know why anybody would do this. People apparently love them. They are screaming in joy as they're
crawling down the street.
As they're crawling down
slowing down traffic.
Drinking in the sun and biking. It's the worst combination of things you could do. Anyway, we were so amused by their slogan, which was the kludgiest slogan. What is it?
Make your other bike a bar.
Make your other bike a bar.
And so we're like, wait a minute. So
there's so many steps in that analogy.
Shouldn't the bike belong to you guys? Or am I taking my second bike and lending it to you to make into a bar?
Yeah.
Or who owns the bike? And why, if I have two, make it a bar?
And why is my other bike a bike I share with 12 people? So what do we come up with? Make your other bike a bike that we own and you share with 12 people, and it's also a bar.
Catchy.
It's real catchy. There's just so many steps in that analogy. Like, what did you, like, it doesn't even kind of make sense. And we laughed all the way home. We were just...
We're easily entertained.
Yeah,
by
entertain ourselves.
By making fun of other things. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we had gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
let's start.
Where do we want to start?
We can go kind of chronological. I think we talked last episode. I'm sure we talked about the first showcase rehearsal. And then the second thing that happened, at least gig-wise, was I had a Howl at the Moon gig.
Right.
which was at the Gaylord Hotel and Resort or something, which is a ridiculously massive compound. Have you been out there? I know Shahan plays there a lot.
Yeah, I saw one of Kristen Henry's voice students is a comedian who played there, and I went to go see him play there with Kristen Page.
It is a ridiculous facility. I am not joking when I say that it was easily a 15-minute walk from where I was able to park into the hotel and then all the way across this unbelievable... I mean...
It's huge, yeah.
The hotel might be half a mile wide. It's so much hotel.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you just go up there and you turn right and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like looking down this it's bigger. It's way bigger than a mall. Just the lobby is like 3 malls. So it was a crazy gig because we had to haul our gear so far. It was crazy.
How was the gig?
Hal, I've talked about here is the dueling piano thing where often I'm just kind of playing along, and then part of my job is just I kill time with solos, like guitar solo, and gosh, and sometimes I've told you before, sometimes they go, take one, Justin, and whatever, and I'm like, I haven't figured out what key we're in. 'Cause this band plays songs that it's all request, and who knows, and they definitely, because it's piano, they have a different kind of repertoire than I'm really used to. I've heard Billy Joel songs, but I haven't learned a lot of Billy Joel, right. Or luckily we did Peg, and I could hang in very well about that because I'd heard it so many times when you were working on the bass line. But sometimes they're just playing some song and I'm like, I don't know what song this is. I literally do not know what song this is. And they're like, guitar solo, and I'm like,
what key? What song? Oh my gosh.
The good trick is you just start bending a note because within 2 or 3 notes, one of them's going to work. So you can just bend up one note, and if that works, stop there. And if that doesn't work, just keep going.
So then you find a note that works.
And then you build from there.
Another note that works, and you're like, okay, I got 2 safe notes.
Sometimes that's all I have is 2 notes where I'm just like, na 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 na. I don't know what key I'm in. I've just got 2 notes that seem to be working. I'm just gonna lean on that for 16 bars.
Oh, that's like an exercise in writing a solo.
It sort of is. It's kind of fun, composing. And it's so low pressure. People love it. It's always a little weird playing corporate things. We've done it plenty of times. It either goes great and people are going nuts, or people are having a very polite, nice time. And this thing, the ballroom, was insane. So there was a stage that was maybe 20 by 50. Just the stage 50 feet wide, and we're kind of spread out a little bit, which already wasn't good because that kind of jamming thing, and we're not that close to each other. And then they had a huge video wall behind us, again probably 50 feet wide. Wow. And then right and left of the stage they had these huge jumbotrons, and they had maybe 5 camera operators who are walking through the room.
Oh my gosh.
And putting up people dancing on the jumbotrons or putting up the band. And talk about unnerving. You don't know what the guitar solo is, and you launch into it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then I could see out of the corner of my eye, oh, there's me 30 feet high, not knowing what key I'm in. I'm like, wow, you can really see the confusion on my face. I'm not hiding that well at all.
Oh man.
But it was a crazy gig. It's always fun. John Sherman, one of my favorite people to play with. Just a monster player, and my favorite story about John is the time that we're playing, and I'm often he's playing keyboards and singing, and then there's another piano player across the stage, and anyway, so we're playing this gig, and I look, I'm playing along, and I look over, and he's playing chords with one hand, singing harmony, and texting his wife. I'm like, you've done too many gigs, man. If you could play piano, sing the harmony, and text with your left hand.
Wow.
Yeah, anyway, so that was my Tuesday gig. What a weird day to have a gig.
Yeah.
And then you had Jacob on Friday.
Yes, I had a gig with Jacob Larson on Friday. I was singing backup with Kristen Henry, so it was like the old crew. As far as singers, it was the old crew back together again.
That is so cool. I wish I would have known that.
Oh, that was Kristen?
Although, funny story, you've been talking about being a bass player and working on being a bass player and stuff. And you left for the gig, and I turned around from my desk and noticed all your bass gear was out. And I was like, I almost like called you to be like, dude, you like walked out of the door without your amp. And then I was like, oh yeah, she's probably singing on that gig. I just assumed you were going to do a gig and that it was a bass gig. That's how much you've been working on bass.
I'm being successful in changing my brand.
Yeah, you really are.
From singer to bassist. I hope I don't lose the singer part of it, but...
Anyway, but I wish I would have... That's so cool that you were back with Kristen Henry and...
Yeah, so Kristen... Okay, so here's the whole history with Jacob Larson. So he was one of my very first students. He took lessons in my basement in Boulder when I just started teaching. He worked with me for a few years. I think he started when he was 11 turning 12.
Yeah.
And then Kristen started working for me, and because my schedule was getting full, and I was looking for students to give her. And I felt like, although I was doing a great job with Jacob, I thought after these years with me, he could benefit from another teacher. So she started teaching him. Now he still works with both of us. He's kind of gone back and forth over the years. And we both became his backup singers in his first funk and blues and soul band. So for a few years, it was Kristen and I on backups and, singing for him with lead. And we just got too busy to do that. On a regular basis, so now we're just subs. So every once in a while, the stars align, and we get to all hang out together again. And so anyway, that's the backstory. So Kristen and
the gig was in Boulder.
It was in Boulder. It was on 29th Street Mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It
was a tent set up, a stage. It hailed during what would have been sound check. We did get a sound check done, but it hailed like 50 minutes before the showtime.
Oh my gosh.
And then, and rained sideways. I mean, not sideways, but it rained enough to get like puddles of water on the stage. So they were squeegeeing water off the stage. Like all the musicians had covered their stuff and there was quite some puddles. So cleaned off the stage, put a rug down, did about an hour of the show. And then the clouds were gathering off in the distance and they came in. And then we felt that there's that like sudden cool breeze where you're like, oh, here's the edge of the storm. I can feel it. And so instead of taking a break, we went straight into the second set, and I think we got one song out of the second set. And then the wind picked up, the storm was here. We're like, all right, we're calling it, we're breaking. And within a minute, things were flying.
Yeah,
things were flying. Chairs were falling over. I mean,
there apparently was, I don't know about Boulder, apparently there was a microburst somewhere in Denver, which is like apparently like kind of like a tiny contained tornado.
Whoa.
And it apparently destroyed this bar patio and
Left Hand Brewing. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, it just like sank.
Yeah,
like
some gear got destroyed for sure because it was so bad. Apparently there was a tent that was weighted down, like the sand that they put on the corners, and even 5 people couldn't keep that tent in place. Wow. So they had to just run for it and leave all their gear in the rain. So a lot of stuff got ruined.
It has been a crazy weather year.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yeah, I know. I know you guys love when we talk about the weather.
But it's getting crazy. I mean, it's a factor now. Stonebeat Invasion has gotten rained out so many times.
I mean,
Scott Uhl, who was the one who posted the video about the thing at Left Hand Brewing.
Yeah, right.
He said he's gotten bad storms during gigs like 6 times so far, and he's not going to do outdoor gigs anymore. He's just like, it's just not worth it.
It's just the weather is getting too bad. I mean, maybe we'll be back to dry and whatever next summer or not.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the weather is just getting more violent.
It is. Yeah. It's more violent and more sudden.
Yeah. Well, and something happened here because I need to get a chair. One of our front porch chairs is in the neighbor's yard.
Again? I brought it back this afternoon.
Okay, well then you already took care of it because I saw it when I was leaving.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is we got back from the showcase. We're building up to it, foreshadowing. And like everything was blown all over the backyard. We had laundry back there.
I found a pair of my underwear almost out in the front yard today.
So there's been some crazy weather.
It must have made its way over the house.
Stuff was just like scattered, like the laundry that was on the clothesline was, yeah. Yeah, gosh. Although, recommendation, I've been enjoying drying some clothes on the clothesline. Maybe not all of them.
Yeah.
But when the wind doesn't go insane.
We need to get some clothespins.
That's what we need. Anyway.
Okay. So I had a big screw up at Jacob's gig.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. Yeah, you told me.
Kicking myself. So I don't know if there's a lesson in this. It was just a brain fart. So I sang Chain of Fools, which I always do at Jacob's gigs because it's just history. It's not because it's the best song for me to sing or for anybody to hear, but whatever. I forgot that we had not yet done the third verse, and I cut the band during the chorus that precedes the third verse. And they were all looking at me like, what? Like, it kind of petered out. Like, is she really stopping? But I made a very definitive cue. I was like, gave it heads up, and then I was like, done now. And so they stopped. And then I was like, sha. I turned around and made a big face. I was like, ah. And, it's the thing that bothered me the most about that wasn't that I didn't get to sing the whole song. It was that, and maybe this is thinking wrong or something, but, I'm trying to become known as a bass player. And that was, like, bass players need to know these song arrangements. And that was a singery thing to do, where you're like, oh, I forgot, it was a chorus, so don't we end here? That's being mean to singers. That's not. No,
I get what you're saying. That's your point.
But yeah. Even when I'm being a singer, I still think differently than when I'm being a bass player. When I'm being a singer, I'm cueing off of different things. I'm figuring out the arrangement of the song differently.
Sure.
Because there are things I can't do while I'm singing that I can do while I'm playing bass. And so on stage there was Stefan, I don't remember his last name, but great drummer, Bijou Barbosa, and Blake Mobley, and Steve Langamo. And I'm like, I just fell on my face in front of 4 totally top-notch guys. Like, I'm so embarrassed. And Kristen was assuring me that they're, a song later they're not even thinking about it. But that was in my
that is absolutely true, and it's happened to everybody. Like, we've all gaffed.
Yeah. Big time.
I mean, pros get it. Maybe not Bijou, but the rest of us have. It happens. And do you know what? Like, did something distract you, or were you just like, was it just like a total?
Well, since it was a drummer I had never played with before, I was super focused on making sure I cued really cleanly for the end of the song. So we got to chain, 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 and I just thought, don't forget the cue, don't forget the cue. And I cued then instead of waiting till the end of the song.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just too much on your mind. That will happen to me sometimes, like in a showcase. Where something will be so on my mind that, like, don't screw up that thing, or you've got that little guitar part, or like after the bridge there's a breakdown and it's just guitar and vocal and you need to be focused on that, and I'll screw something else up because I'm just so focused on what's coming up in the song that I let it get to me and psych me out, and then I totally blow through other stuff because I'm like, don't screw up the ending, don't screw up the middle part, or,
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what is the lesson here? I think you have to be duly focused on or aware of the things that are gonna get you.
Right.
But then you have to stay calm enough and present enough in the moment. There's some sort of balance there. You can't just be floating along with the song as it goes, thinking only one chord ahead. Right. But neither can you desert that line of thought and focus entirely on the big challenge coming later. But I guess it just takes some time.
It's interesting, that was something we talked about during the week, the difference between, and maybe we'll cut this out, the difference between being a just playing musician and a performing musician, where when you're just a playing musician, you're standing up there and maybe you're, lightly moving your body a little bit, but you're mainly just focused on playing the parts and being a background guy. And very often that is not our job. We are performing musicians, where part of what you're doing is playing your part and part of what you're doing is performing to the crowd. And that's a split attention thing.
Absolutely.
And that was one thing that was funny about the How to Go gig that I did, was I'm very much a side guy in that. I'm very background in that. And I noticed as I was on stage, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to just not have to worry about performing at all. You know, like, I mean, I'm not acting bored. I'm kind of making sure I don't look bored. But also everybody's looking at John, and Riley was on that gig. Those are the guys, you know, and I'm just back there. And maybe I step up for a solo, but when I'm not doing that, I'm just back there, you know. And it made me go like, oh, you know, this is a lot less to do than thinking about not only am I playing the thing, but where am I blocking with the other musicians on stage? Right. How am I managing my stage space? Am I like moving back when you move back? Am I, you know...
How's the crowd feeling? What do we need to do with them?
Yeah, how's the crowd feeling? How do I need to push? Do I need to just let them have a good time? You know, there's all those things. And, you know, every once in a while it can definitely happen.
Yeah, well...
Speaking of... Yeah, you gotta let it go. Let's talk showcase.
Yeah,
that was the big
thing.
focus. Yeah, so we had a rehearsal Saturday morning. That was the second showcase rehearsal. That went great, and then of course the show was Sunday at the Oriental, that I always talk about, my favorite weird, creepy venue.
Speaking of creepy,
I love that place. We
got to go down into the basement. I mean, we just opened the door and went down into the basement, which I'd never noticed that door before. Did you not go in?
I didn't go.
Oh
my gosh, no way.
Yes, it's right by the back entrance.
No,
you walk in the back entrance. It is 3 feet into your left.
I thought that was a closet.
No, that is the basement.
I know the door you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. So it was open. We just went down there. The steps are concrete and they're so short and so steep. You like walk down and you're like holding onto the walls. That's
the old like before building codes. Like it's like the Dickens and like the crazy staircase. The steps aren't big enough for your feet.
Yeah. And they're deep. Yeah. So there's just some crap down there. I mean, there's some like rusty folding chairs and some, you know, building materials and stuff. But the main thing that's down there is the biggest swamp cooler I've ever seen, except for the one at the gardens, the greenhouse we played at that one time.
Oh, yeah, right. Tagawa.
Yeah, Tagawa had 300 feet of swamp cooler. I mean, it was a wall of the entire greenhouse. It was a swamp cooler. But this, in the basement of the Oriental Theater, was, I mean, it was probably 8 feet wide and 6 or 7 feet tall. Whoa. It was huge. They must have had to assemble it in that room because...
Yeah, how would you get it in and out?
No way would you get it in there. Yeah, anyway. So, that's a side note on the showcase there. The Creepy Oriental. So, we had an amazing lighting designer named Red.
He was so good.
He was
on it. I mean, he was responding to lyrics in the song.
I know. And hits. And yeah. And he made every song look different, too.
Yeah. We need to keep track of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's worked with Shaka Khan twice.
Oh, really? Well, I believe it. It was very pro.
Yeah.
Although he did get me one time. He was using blackouts, which is when you just drop all the lights on the stage and the stage literally gets black for a second and then you bring the light back and it's very dramatic. But he got me on a blackout just when I was moving up higher on the guitar to do part of a solo. And like right as I was moving up, everything went black. Yeah. And I was blind for a second.
Yeah.
And rank.
Yeah. I didn't notice it. You know, maybe that is a takeaway for us next time we have an LD lighting designer at a showcase is we should just say no blackouts. Yeah. Except after songs, but no blackouts because musicians are this is barely rehearsed. I mean, people need to see their instruments.
And occasionally, yeah. I mean, 90% of the time I don't need to see what I'm doing for brief periods. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm fine for 5 seconds if it goes black. Like, you know, but in the middle of a guitar solo, it if anything, I probably mainly messed up because it surprised me.
Yeah.
Not that I needed to see where I was going. It just like, I was like, oh, like I'm blind. Anyway, what do you think overall showcase? Everybody did unbelievable.
Oh my gosh. First of all, they got better from rehearsal to rehearsal.
They definitely, yeah.
And then several even got better from the second rehearsal to the performance.
Quite a bit. And some, I would say there were a few breakthrough performances where people literally had breakthroughs.
Gianna, for one.
For sure. I was telling her I almost didn't recognize her. The confidence, and we were talking, we worked tonight on a new song, and we were talking about, she was saying that she just like put all her energy into just being in the moment and feeling it, and I was like, that's what it was. You were like present, like you were in it. And that just translates as confidence and star power and charisma and whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just like, but it was just like, it was I was really surprised.
Yeah, I was so proud.
I mean, she's always good, but like this one was like, it was a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And several other performers I thought really just brought it so hard. Like they really showed up.
Mm-hmm. Special shout out to stage name Key, real name Kishan Davis.
Unbelievable.
So hasn't performed with us before.
Very new student.
Pretty new student. I mean, he's been with Morgan for maybe a year, I think.
Okay, Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he picked probably 3 of the hardest songs out there.
Not for a guy. 3 of the hardest songs out there, period.
Yeah.
Female or male vocal.
Yeah, they're real hard for women. And a guy, sang them.
Borderline impossible.
So a Beyonce, Love on Top, which is, I mean, it is like known as a great vocal exercise. Like it's a push your voice sort of song because it modulates up like 5 times.
It's a workout song.
Yeah.
So like Ingrid texted me and was like, name another pop song with as many changes. And I was like, yeah, you're totally right. There's a not. Yeah. But that one's a workout. That Keisha Cole song, Love.
Yeah, lots of riffs and runs.
Very hard song to sing.
Yeah. Phrasing is difficult. The riffs and runs are difficult.
And then did a Mariah Carey tune.
Yeah.
That was just, big and loud, and the tone was there. It was so amazing to see someone just break out like that.
Yeah. We exchanged some good texts today. He was
good.
Real high on it. I texted all the performers after this morning to congratulate them all.
I might shoot him a text too because I was literally very impressed.
Yeah.
And so many people did just such an amazing job. And it's always such a great experience because, nothing went wrong, but there's times when things aren't going wrong, but they didn't go exactly how you thought they were. And it's so great to see people get the experience of going like, I just got to keep going. Didn't hit that how I wanted to, or maybe it sounded perfectly fine. I just like, no time to think. Got to go.
Yeah.
And it's a big stage. It's great for people to be on that big of a stage. Mm-hmm. I would say I was extremely stressed out, partially because of this showcase had maybe the widest range of material we ever done. I mean, this was from finger-picking country to bossa nova to hard metal, like modern metal, everything in between, rock stuff, R&B stuff. Mm-hmm. I was playing a lot of acoustic, a lot of finger stuff, which I'm terrible at. I just have to I need to start taking classical lessons or something because I just am not great. The House That Built Me by Miranda Lambert, one of the hardest finger picking songs that was ever a hit song, There are harder songs, but they're guitar nerd songs. So I was stressed out because that, and then you know what? I forgot to consult with you on the song order, which was totally my fault.
Oh.
So some of the guitar switching I was doing, going between electric and acoustic, and then this one's acoustic, and it has an alternate tuning, so I need to tune several of the strings differently than you normally tune a guitar, and then an electric song, and then I got to go back to acoustic, but then I got to get the guitar out of that alternate tuning. I just didn't think to plan that, and I should know better. It was just one of those things that got...
Yeah, well, hopefully we will catch that next time. I mean, Raylyn is no longer doing management stuff because she's focused on her Latino studio,
Right.
Latinx studio. So she's just teaching at Performance High. So I'm taking back all of the showcase tasks. So I'll be the one making the set lists from here on out. So
it's 100% something I should have said. Hey, this song in particular, I need extra time around this song, or put it at the beginning, put it at the end. And I just didn't think about doing that. And then I'm like looking down at the set list going, whew, how am I going to get from Capo 3 alternate tuning?
You need to tell me about that.
Yeah, how would you know? It was totally my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rookie mistake, but anyway.
And you're such a rookie.
I'm such a rookie. Overall, just an amazing show. And, you know, I was also talking with somebody, Ryan, we had one song where the band was, I heard from a couple people that it sounded great up front. Everybody could hear everything super clear, and it was great. The band was having a little bit of trouble on some songs hearing where the singer was. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about what a great heads-up player Ryan is, where he made Ryan, our drummer, Ryan Elwood, he made the decision that we're going into the final chorus. Like, here's big drum fill, just 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, like, this is clearly we're going.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where I don't know where he was at, but whether he knew he was right or didn't know he was right, he just made a decision and was like, let's all go here. And, like, that kind of heads-up playing of somebody, like, making a decision and making it really clear this is where we're going is so much better than being wishy-washy and everybody being wishy-washy.
Yeah,
and then no one knows where it's going, but just being like, don't care if it's right or wrong, we're going. Like, this is, and it was
someone has to take the lead forcefully when things like that happen.
It's such a pro move to, like, I was just, again, impressed with the guy that, like, that was the move. Just make the decision, because everybody's kind of going, what are we doing? And he just, like, was like, we're doing it.
We're doing the chorus now.
And and we hit it powerfully, and it was great. You feel like you want to move on?
I feel like we should probably even wrap. I mean, or start thinking about wrapping here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Why are we even doing this?
I'm tired. I took like a 2-hour nap this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, most afternoons.
Good thing. No, I don't.
I mean, with all that wine at lunch, I mean, it's not, it's very understandable. Never, that's a total joke.
I do not drink wine at lunch. I don't drink wine much at all, actually.
Yeah. That's why it's even funnier to say, like, you never do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, one thing, live stream is coming up this week. We're going to start doing, I'm going to start doing.
I'm not doing it.
A live artist development session / question and answer / whatever. So look out for that on Performance High's channels. Mm-hmm. The Facebooks and the Instagrams. And
I think it's going to be, you're doing it live on YouTube for sure.
Right.
And then I think the other one is Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll release it afterwards to Facebook too.
Right, because we're going to do it live, but then it'll record it. And so you can, you don't have to catch it. That's going to be Wednesday at 7 Mountain Time, 6 Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Exactly.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah? Let's get out of here.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for watching or listening or whatever you're doing right now. As always, we are sponsored by
Performance High Voice and Music Studio and bikes with bars.
Yeah. Make your other bike that you share with 12 people and is owned by someone else a bar.
I'm loopy.
All right,
okay,
let's get out of here. Thank you.
Right, bye.